I like to use miniature objects to check scale. This is not because I am overly concerned about accuracy, but rather because brains are picky and will interrupt your enjoyment of something if it looks off. It's also crucial to me that a miniature can fit onto the miniature play area. Ultimately, these objects are for playing games, not just for display. If I can avoid measuring something, I will. This is partly because I'm not good at consistent and accurate measurement, but also because no one is handing out awards for clean measurements. However, people will notice if everything looks right on the build, so I use the build itself to measure the dimensions of the components that they placed on it. Texture rollers are useful for creating miniature scale bricks and planks, which can be difficult to craft manually. I often make comically oversized materials, but texture rollers create details both to scale and so small they discourage players from scrutinizing them too closely. My goal is to have players recognize subconsciously the textures look right without thinking too much about what they represent, and to focus on the game itself. Mod Podge in black paint helps to get rid of the pink color as well as protect the foam so that it can spray paint it. And then the colored spray paint lets me create colored shadows, gives me a big head start on painting. I like gouache because it's messy and interacts with the 3 dimensions of the build, and it creates translucent layers that add unintended but rich details. Big things are complex, and this extra detail, even if it's somewhat nonsensical, helps sell the weightiness of something so small. I like Blackwash, the way that it sinks into the recesses of your build and exaggerates the shadows, but my goodness is it terrifying to use. You first put it on there and everything's black and you're like, I think I just ruined this. In sci-fi modeling, there's a concept called greebling. Essentially, you glue random bits and bobs onto your spaceship or whatever you're modeling to create a more technically detailed appearance. I imagine the fantasy version of this technique would involve implying history through the discarded items of those who came before. In this case, the tools and lunch of construction workers. Technically, this is a Growlin monster and Enrico the Plum Druid from Loot Studios, but I think we all know what's going on here.